this is what God gave me to share with you today. I was going on Facebook, which I rarely do. As a matter of fact, it was the first time I was on Facebook since January, and because I don't have time. And I saw a friend of mine that said why children should not have smartphones, and it was a video link. And I thought, wow, that's good. I want to see that. It kind of fits in line with where I'm at. Let's see what they have to say. So I clicked on the link, and it was a man who was saying children shouldn't have smartphones because it stops them from enjoying the fullness of life. And I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. And then he said this. He said, that forever empty spot deep in the center of your being, that empty space that is forever empty, that we all try not to acknowledge is there, that we all try to stay busy and distracted, because if we ever get still and alone enough, we just become painfully aware of the fact that no matter how good our marriage is, no matter how fun our life is, the bottom line is we are alone. It's just us in this body alone. We live, there's suffering and pain all around us, we die, and then there's nothing. And that most of us do anything we can to sort of whistle by the cemetery and pretend that that forever empty spot is not really there. And he said the other day he was driving down the street, and rather than just driving with the radio off and doing nothing, he felt that forever empty spot he felt it coming up. He felt this loneliness coming up. And so he grabbed his phone and he thought, well, I'll call somebody, I'll do something on my phone. And he said all of a sudden he caught himself. And he said, no, let it happen. Acknowledge it. And so he said he pulled over to a park and he stopped and he just wept. He just wept at the sadness, the profound sadness and loneliness that we all have to acknowledge life can be, and that ultimately life is. And he said after he sat there and wept for a while, he was able to then turn the car back on and keep driving home with a greater appreciation that I'm still alive, and for the time I still have here, I can enjoy it. And so he was saying children who keep themselves distracted on smartphones, they cut out the highs and the lows. Yeah, you get rid of the lows because of the distractions, but you cut out the highs until you acknowledge the depths of the loneliness and emptiness of life. You can't really appreciate the highs of life. And he said that that was the problem. And that if they would just allow themselves to be profoundly sad and weep from time to time, then they could enjoy life more. I was blown away for two reasons. Number one, just the sadness of the reality of how unsaved people live their life. I hadn't been reminded of that for a while. And it really made me feel like, man, anytime I could do anything to share the gospel with someone, to bring them into the kingdom and fill their forever empty spot with the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, that's what I'm going to do. But the second thing I was really just surprised at is how the enemy is using the same thing, busyness and distractions, against saved and unsaved people alike. You see, he's right. When you can stay distracted and busy and unaware of your complete lack and complete emptiness and that void that can only be filled by God, if you can keep yourself distracted from the reality of that all the way through your life, then you see no need to fill that spot because you're not aware of it. You're distracted. You see no need. When you hear the gospel, it doesn't seem to apply. And I thought, wow, he is robbing them of the awareness of their need for God. And if you do get saved and you're one with God, he is robbing you of your ability to walk in the ever-present presence of God throughout your day, looking for it, acknowledging his faithfulness to you. And I went, wow, I've got to make a video. Lord, give me an answer. And so here's the thing. I do not want you walking through life so busy, so distracted, that you don't enjoy the journey along the way, that you don't understand that God is with you in ever present and walking with you, keeping track of those instances, writing them down, recording them until I have my app, my tool done to help you with that. Find a way to do it, to keep yourself encouraged, to keep yourself aware that you're walking in his presence, and you're ready to share with other people because it's so real to you when you find someone who is aware of their need for God. And like I said, last but not least, it becomes an inheritance for your children and your loved ones. They have an avalanche of faith hearing all of your stories of God's faithfulness, and no story is too small. So I've done it. I created a video because you're important. Why are you important? Because God created you. God created you. Your life is significant. You're important. Spend time with your family. Be fearless with the things God gives you to do. Take risk for the things God gives you to do. And enjoy the journey along the way. I hope this little coaching tip helped you, encouraged you, and inspired you. There'll be a lot more videos along the way. And remember, pray for me. I got to get that book out. I need more answers from God in terms of how to organize and structure my life so I can stay free from the big gray swirl of busyness and distractions. God bless you.